Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Perseverance Maremeni, also known as Madam Speaker. Welcome. My neighbor. Welcome to Losing in Love Season 1, Episode 11. 1-1, okay? We are cruising nicely. By the end of this year, we're going to wrap up from the thingy that we're going to be doing, the Loving Yourself Back to Life program. I think that's going to be us wrapping up Losing in Love Season 1. And then we're going to be looking into doing Losing in Love Season 2, maybe with a whole lot of improvement from Season 1 of Losing in Love. But when it comes to the quantity, not quality, man. So, man, the English is running away, man. The bundles are depleted, or I left them there by the hospital. But context, yeah, it didn't run away, it's here. The context of the program, we would still love to keep it the way that it is, where people come in and they share their stories, some sad, some beautiful, and get advices, and we just keep the ball rolling. We ride on this thing until the wheels fall off or get off, or yeah. But anyway, welcome. I kind of feel like I need to do the intro again, guys. Do you think I should do it again? Or that is good enough? I mean, we're not here for perfection. We are here for the content and the life-changing things that we do on this app, okay? Anyway, yeah, man, we're back. Losing in Love, episode 11, season 1, episode 11. Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, do sit, enjoy, give advice, no judging. Guys, please don't be harsh to the gents. This Losing in Love, I know that I'm for women, okay? But this Losing in Love is not for women only, it's for all genders. So our brothers, some of them are going through stuff. You have to be nice, okay? And when the brothers call in and they ask for advice, please don't attack them. You could be attacking your next husband. You will never know. Anyway, yeah, let's move. So for those who would like to call to request to join, remember I only take one person at a time, and I know that people don't want to request, don't want to be the first person to request. But once somebody requests, you people now start complaining, saying, hey, you must finish, you want to come. You must finish, you want to come. So please be early bird and just request now so that we can take you first, get your story, give you advice where advice is needed. Then we'll move on to the next so that you don't complain when other people call in to say, yeah, no, you must finish. You must finish. You know. But anyway, we are there. Let's see if we have peoples. Do we have peoples? I'm so far from the camera, guys. Ne? The reason why I'm so far is because when I have to... Hi, man, this lady here owes me a story. When Alondiwe, I'm inviting you, Alondiwe. My love, I'm inviting you. You are my favorite. I love you, Jingo Sunday dish. And we have a moderator, right? Oh, somebody was saying that I must do the Q&A for the Losing in Love, Loving Yourself Back to Life. I'm still going to do that, but not on this live. Hi, Alondiwe.
Hi, my speaker. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm good. I'm happy
Well,
that you're back from the hospital.
no, I didn't even sleep there by the hospital. Yes, it was an in and out. So I was having a week
Shame.
draft. Yeah, but I did
Oh,
post that
shame.
on
I was
YouTube as well.
worried.
Yeah, I posted that on YouTube. I just wanted to do an awareness. I know that a lot of us ladies, we drag. It would be so pointless for me to speak about loving yourselves every day. And I don't want to speak about loving yourselves back to health as well. You know, if I'm going to be talking about you loving yourself, you know, being well emotionally, psychologically, mentally, but then still your body is decomposing because when you decided that no, you don't want to do your checks, you don't want to do things that can make sure you live longer, then what's the point of me being here and preaching the gospel that I'm preaching? Then I'm doing it for nothing, yabo. So that is why that when I went, and I'm not even going to act like I'm an angel, because even when I went for my pap smear test, my doctor literally had to drag me out of my house. She's like, Perseverance, my Raymond. If you don't come here now, I'm gonna come drag you with your ear from your house. You know? So I went there, I did it. Unfortunately, some of the tests there came back positive, and then I had to go for womb scrubbing. You can never say you are done. You can never say it is over. You can never say, as long as we are women, we have had kids, we are sexually active, we just have so many things going on. So I decided to just record everything and post it on YouTube so that anybody who is dragging, you know, who is reluctant towards going to get their pap smear test done, just getting checked out and being okay. They must. I just wanted to encourage people to do that. And I'm hoping that I made a difference. So really, I was not really sick. I was just scared that I was gonna die. What if I sleep and don't wake up? But besides that, me,
Mm.
I'm a diehard, honey. I'm a
Yeah.
diehard. I'm not going anywhere. See me, I have my life ahead of me.
I
Yeah, man.
okay. Thank you so
But
much.
anyway, I just wanted to
Yeah,
greet you
my
and tell you
speak.
that I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too. Yeah, I call you my speaker. You know what?
Ah,
Because a lot of women can't speak. So now you are our
mm,
speaker. So now we are speaking because of you. My speaker
ah,
was in love by a guy who is a father of my kids. We dated for 15 years with this guy.
mm,
I was so in love. This guy
mm,
loved me. You know when like you're in love.
yeah.
You know, someone like I guess like actually uthiyakthanda but nje you
You
know
feel it.
feeling
Mm,
and
um,
yeah. So I was in love with the father of my kids for 15 years.
mm,
That guy paid my fees. That guy gave me two beautiful kids. Then
mm,
last year he was stabbed on his birthday. On his birthday, he was stabbed. He was staying. I'm staying in Newcastle. He was staying in Friat, and no one told me. I know his friends, and they know me. They even know my house, even his house, but no one told us. So
mm,
fortunately enough, he took a picture and then sent it to me, and then they transfer him. They transfer him to a Grace. Grace is in Pietermaritzburg. Then
mhm,
he took a picture, then sent it to me. Then I was like,
mm.
"Hey, but what happened?"
What's going on?
And there was no reply. Then I called my boyfriend. I was like, "What's wrong?" Oh,
Mm,
it was so hard. My speaker. He said, "No, I'm in Grace. They stabbed me." Who?
mm.
Then he cut the call. Then I have
Okay.
to. I was at work. I have
Mm,
to tell my manager that something happened. I need to go home. Then I came back home and everyone was worried what happened. Even the
mm,
kids, Mom, why like your eyes, you was
mm,
crying. I said, no, I'm okay. Then I told my mother what happened. Then I don't have a car. Can you imagine
mm,
from my house to Maritzburg is 5 hours. Then
mm,
I was crying, my speaker. I was like, please God, please, please, please.
mm,
Then I was calling his sisters. Yeah, then the sister said, no, we're in a hospital, and then this thing of COVID, we can't go inside. But I
mm,
was like, no, I need to see him. Fortunately enough, uh, then my sister-in-law, no, the other doctor, then they said, no, there's a wife. The wife wanted to see her husband. Then, you know what? There was like, pipes, oxygen, everything. Yo,
mm,
It was very, very bad. And that
mm,
time he was asking, hey, bo, ufunani la? Hey,
mm,
bo, uh, I'm like, I'm feeling cold. Please
mm,
put a socks. Where's the Vaseline? Where's my kids? I was praying, praying, praying. Then I went to my sister-in-law's house, and then the following day he sent me a message that he's going to what is the hospital, but the other hospital is in Durban
mm,
for operation because he was bleeding, internal bleeding.
mm, mm,
So then the following day, then I was asking the doctor or the nurse, and nurse said,
mm,
you know what? Eh, you know what? He bleed like too much, yeah, bro.
A lot
So
of blood.
there's a lot of operation that they need to do. So
Mm,
nje, it's between life and death. I
oh,
was also praying, God, you can't
mm,
leave me like this.
mm,
Then yeah, I prayed. Then we went there, and then the operation was so successfully. Then yeah, it was fine. I was so happy, my speaker. It
yes.
was on Saturday. Then Sunday, I came back home. Monday, we were talking like everything was fine. Even like the doctor said, you know what? Jay, everything was fine. But you know what? He said to me, please take our last picture. Please take these keys. Please take my phone. Like he was telling me everything, but I didn't like take it serious. Then I
Really, you
went
never
back
take it
home.
seriously. And these people, they know when they're leaving, hey?
Exactly. Then I
Mm.
went back home and I was telling the kids like, yo, daddy's fine. Jay. I was so happy, Jay, like, yeah, bro. Then,
Mm.
like on Friday, it was quarter to 12. Then he was telling me that he's coming back, so he's waiting for an ambulance, so that he can come to the site. Then, like at 12 o'clock, they called me that he passed on. He passed on at 12 o'clock.
And what
Like
did they say was the problem?
he was video calling everyone, even the kids.
Mm.
Yo, my speaker. Oh, like I was like, no,
Because it
now,
doesn't make
now
sense. Yes.
it's yo. This guy was calling me now, now, now. Now he passed on.
Mm.
Like how?
Mm.
Then
Mm.
I have to go back to my manager, and I have to tell my manager that you know what, my partner is no more, so I can't even go home. Like I was
Mm.
shaking. I didn't even cry. I was like, gee, you know,
Mm.
it was a trauma. Then
Mm.
yeah, a friend of mine um took me to home. Then yeah, like the first thing my kid was, yo, mama, Babas is coming back.
Yo.
Daddy's coming back. Even the
Mm.
small one, everyone was like I stick it from work to my house, it's 30 minutes. He was trending on Facebook, he was trending on WhatsApp, TikTok, everywhere, everywhere. Then I have to tell my daughter. My daughter is 14 years. I was like, you
Mm.
know what? Daddy is no more. Oh, I
Mm.
told my mother first. My mom just, you know,
Guys, no crying
uh,
emojis,
uh,
okay? If you put on crying emojis and sad emojis, I'm gonna have to mute you because TikTok is gonna block us. They'll think we're doing something, um,
uh,
which is harmful or dangerous here. So please, if you
it's
really feeling
okay.
sad, rather send a heart, with a band-aid. You know that heart with a band-aid.
Mm,
Send that instead, just to show love to the person who is calling in instead of crying emojis. Okay. Sorry, my love. You can
mm.
continue, honey.
Okay. So I have to
Mm.
tell my mom, and my mom was like crying. My kids, even if my friend of mine was also crying. Hey, well, everyone was crying. Like
Mm.
other people coming to my house were crying. Haibo, I had to
Mm.
take water and tulisa abanye abantu. Yo, I was like, Haibo. Then we went to his house and then everyone was crying. And I never get a chance to cry. You know what? And then my partner told me that there's a key. My family don't know where I'm staying. So you're the
Mm.
one who must show my family my house, my stuff and everything. You know what, my speaker, what's breaking my heart is what broke my heart is uh the crime scene, like the
Mm.
place where this thing happened. It was so
Mm.
clean. There was no blood.
People.
It was very clean, clean. There was
Mm.
no blood. There was nothing.
Mm.
Then, like, it was my first time, like, picking someone clothes. I have to
Mm.
pack the clothes with my sister-in-laws. I was like, oh, it was a horrible day.
Mm.
Then, yeah, what I'm saying is, like on Facebook, what I saw on Facebook, there's other lady who was staying like near my house. He posted on Facebook that rest in peace. Okay, he called his name. Rest in peace, so and so. I'm worried about the videos that I didn't send to you. Our videos, like our videos that I
People.
didn't send it to you on Facebook.
People.
Yo,
As
you
if
know what
already
that
you are not in enough pain.
exactly? And I didn't saw that that post. Someone sent it to me. Another
Mm.
woman sent it to me. I didn't see, a woman posted that, and another woman sent it to me. That, you know what, you didn't see this. Let me show you this. You're in pain, but we need you to see this. Yeah, Mystica, that one was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, and what? It was so bad. It was so bad because
Mm.
like, she was my neighbor. She know
Mm.
me, like she knows that I'm in pain. So yeah,
Mm.
then
People
there
just
was a
want to
funeral.
finish you off. I don't know what people expect
Exactly,
from you when you're already in pain.
exactly.
But my sister, how
So
are you now? Because the last time when
uh,
you were sharing the story, because we were cut off by the network, I wanted to get to the part where I wanted to check with you, Ori. How are you with the whole thing
you
now?
know what?
How are you coping? How are the kids?
That's why I'm saying you, my speaker, because I never share this pain. Uh, I downloaded a TikTok long time ago, but
Mm,
it was only my kids, like, because I have a
mm,
3-year-old daughter. Yeah,
mm,
she's talkative. She's the one that was trending on TikTok. Then
mm,
after I was showing your video, talking about your journey, talking
mm,
about the healing process, self-love and stuff. It's
mm,
where I started crying. Because remember, I
mm.
never cry. I
Yeah.
never cry. I was so strong, and everyone was telling me that I'm strong. But deep down, I
Mm,
wasn't strong. I
yeah.
was like, like listening to you, looking at your video. I was like crying, crying, crying. So now
Mm,
I'm better than yesterday.
mm,
What I realize now that as much as I was loved, you know. This
mm,
guy helped me with my fees. I'm working.
mm,
Um, I'm able to support my kids, my
mm,
family, and everyone. As much as it's painful, but
mm,
that guy gave me a bread, gave me
mm.
something that my family failed to do, you
Mm,
know.
and you will always
So
cherish him for that, you know?
exactly. But what I wanted to tell women today, you know what? There's a video that I saw. That video when you left your house.
Yeah.
You said from a owner to tenant. Yo, that's
Mm,
video. Yo, my sticker. You know what? My kid was wearing like certain clothes, not like any shop Woolworths clothes, you know.
mm,
And my kids are going to, like, those schools. Even
mm,
like me, when it's a payday, I have to go to a restaurant and stuff. So now
mm.
there's no one who's supporting me. I'm the only one
Yeah.
who's working in my house. So I have to
Mm.
downgrade. I was like,
Yes.
hey,
And
bro,
you do it
I can't
gracefully.
do
You
that.
accept the
I can't do that.
situation.
I'm working for a municipality. You know the
Mm,
status. My kids, no, I
mm,
can't.
yeah.
There's the other day I was like telling my friend, you know what? I can't pay my accounts. I can't pay this and this. Then my friend said, you know what? My speaker. Sometimes you need those friends who will tell you the truth.
The
You
truth.
know the
Mm,
truth. We need the truth. We need to
mm,
downgrade. My friend
yes.
told me that, you know what?
With
You
pride.
spend a lot of money to restaurant. You spend a lot of money buying for kids label clothes or like a certain shop. There is Pep, there is Jet, there
Mm,
is other.
mm,
You must check
mm,
sales.
mm.
So in
Yeah.
yo, I was in debt, my speaker. I was like, I get paid now, like on the
The money has
25th.
finished.
Then the following day, there's other video that you said that people for the 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, my speaker. It was like horrible. But now, yo.
Problems
Like
and
I'm fine. But
mm,
days
I get it.
are not the same. Some are bad, some are good. But what I can say, please, like, carry on, and thank you so much. You did a lot to us. There's other women out there who can't like share their story, who can't admit the situation. Like
Mm,
and you know what? Other people, they always wanted justice. for me, I don't want to just leave my speaker because someone who did that, he or she is outside, and no one now know what happened. But I think there is more than 20 people who was there, and then the
Yeah.
postmortem said it was a poison, and then they stabbed him. So nje, there's a lot, and there's no witness, and even like that's why I was saying the place was so clean, like clean, clean, clean. No blood, no there's knife witness, nothing. So nje, each life sometimes, but nje, yeah, I'm raising two kids, 14 years and 3 years. Nje, life.
Yo, my
Yeah,
sister, you
that
know
is
what?
life. But another thing, my sticker, when like your partner passed away, other women, other women will say that you have a bad luck. You have a struggle. They call it in Zulu struggle, meaning you have a bad luck. You are dating. You need another man. You need to sleep with another man so that you can remove or take out that bad luck. Other women were saying that to us. Us as a woman, we are not like each other. Yeah, well, the other woman was telling me that you thought you're better than others. You thought you have all. Now your partner is passed away, so who will pay for your kids' school fees? Like you build a big house for your mom, who will help you with this and that. So it was like a hard year, but yeah, with
You know
God,
what, my
I'm
sister?
here.
Take it from
Yeah.
me, because of the purity of your heart, because of how pure your heart is, and how you were just making living an honest life. God will bless you. God will give you strength. He will renew your strength every day. You will never run out of supply of human beings, even if it's just me, a stranger who is in Limpopo, while when you're in
Mm,
KZN. God
mm,
will always supply for your need according to his riches and glory. God will
mm.
always make sure that when you're about to give up, there's somebody who will post something, there's somebody you will have an encounter with,
Exactly.
there's somebody who will say something, and they will just renew. God will renew your strength through people. God is not going to descend from heaven himself to come here and carry you by your hand.
Mm,
He's going to send people. God will always make sure that your needs are supplied for. All you have to do is accept. All you have to do is to, you know what, be flexible, be bendable. When
mm,
life throws things at you, the best way for you to come back is to accept. When
mm,
you are defeated, you accept. When it's time for you to downgrade, you accept that now it's time for me to downgrade. When if akuvumi sithandwa sami, for you to live
mm,
life the way you be, do not be resistant. A
mm,
lot of us are suffering from unnecessary sicknesses and diseases simply because we refuse to be flexible. We refuse to be
mm,
bendable when life bends us. We refuse to admit and accept because we want to make an impression to people out there to say, listen, I have it together. I will prove to you wrong. You don't have to prove anybody wrong. If
mm,
impurity inzima, and you say it
mm,
with your mouth, you accept, so that you pick
mm,
yourself up from there. Because the more you pretend, the more you act as if you have it together when you don't, the longer it takes for you to get up. Mina, I accepted
mm,
my situation from the
mm.
ground. From the ground. My story is, I'm not ashamed of my story. There are people from time to time who will come to me and remind me of where I'm coming from simply so that they can just shame me. You cannot shame me from a story which I already shared myself. I'm already defeated because I told my story, you know.
Mm,
I accepted defeat. I accepted that I have hit rock bottom. I accepted that I have nothing. I'm building everything from scratch. I accepted that I lost. You know, when you get to that point where you are like a Job of your
mm,
lifetime, ufana no Job, uthi,
mm,
naked I came into this world and naked I will leave. Mina
mm,
Sanwasani, the only thing that I'm always grateful to God for is my own life. To say, for as long as
mm,
you still gave me this brain, you gave me this pure heart that I have, I will build. If it means I must build 20 times,
mm,
I will build 20 times. But the one thing that you can, yes, you can, ungangishiya ngezinto eziningi, yes, what? But if there's one thing that I know for sure that you can never take away from me, is my willingness to accept when life is hard. Is my will,
mm,
like I do, I mean, everything that I do to the fullest. When life is hard, I'm not one to hide. I'm not one to pretend as if when I don't have it all together. I was sick. I was at the hospital. I was going to get my womb scraped. I didn't pretend as if after coming back from Botswana, Botswana, when I come back now, I must cut that part of my life and show you beautiful things only. I mean, I'm one person who accepts, and I'm flexible, and every season that comes in my life, I take it as it is. And the reason why I will always bounce back, because every season that comes, I accept it as it is. I deal with it as it is. I move on to the next. I'm always looking forward to the next chapter. So that's what I'm saying to you. That's what I wanted to say to you. To say, listen, every season of your life, whatever that life throws at you, be bendable, be able to be flexible, accept situation. When you have to duck so that whatever that is being thrown at you can pass over, do that. Don't force yourself to be standing strong, to pretend, to act as if you are this and that when you are not. When time for you comes to be there, when time has come for you to rise up, to go back to where you were and even beyond, you won't have to force it. It won't have to be painful. You won't be proving. You will even forget that there are people who said things about you that now they must be proved wrong. Because when you are not about the life of proving people wrong, you are all about the life of just living your best life and accepting your situation and just embracing your life and just thanking God for every day and giving you the strength and being able to be there for your kids. You are just accepting. Do you understand what I mean, my love? So that's all that I wanted to share with you. It's just that the other day, because your video was cut short, I could not get to everything, and I could not share with you my thoughts at the end of your story.
Last
And I
thing,
wish
my
you the best.
last thing, you see, this is from people from TikTok. This is my family. This is my partner, my two beautiful kids, and me. People from TikTok. This is a gift from my sister from TikTok. I'm so grateful. I found sisters. I found like friends. So, yeah, thank you so much, dear.
Oh, thank you so much, my love. I'm so happy that we concluded this conversation, and I know that we are going to be pouring into each other's cups. We will be strong. We will be happy. We will live. We will live for ourselves and for our kids, and we will have full lives. Okay?
Thank
I
you
love you
so
so
much.
much. Keep well and take care. I'm going to have to take the next person now, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, love. All right. That was Londi, where I am so happy that I eventually had this conversation with this lady, because the last time we were together, we didn't finish. We didn't finish because she had a network problem, or I had a network problem. So she was cut short. I'm so happy that we have concluded this. I'm so happy that we have wrapped it up. And now we can just take the next person. I'm struggling to connect people here, guys, because I can see that people are coming. Hey, sis. Hi, Ceci. Hi, sis.
What? Hello.
Do you want to share a story with us, Ceci, or you were just trying to test if we are going live?
Hey, you said.
Okay, I'm gonna cut my sister off, guys. Pella, my sister is my sister. Okay, so she doesn't take me seriously, and here I'm doing serious stuff. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut her off there and take people who wanna tell stories. Hi. Hello, going once, going twice. Hi, is there anybody home? Anybody home? Okay, the network problem is now starting to show us flames. I'm hoping that we're going to reconnect from this. Going once, going twice. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna have to take somebody else now. Let's just keep trying and trying and trying until we get it right. Is anybody home? Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. At long last, we have
Hi,
somebody.
how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
I am great. Thank you so much for being here. Please do introduce yourself if you don't mind, obviously, and then tell us your story.
Okay, can I just be a Amakawekazi? Can I just be introduce myself that way?
That's fine. That's fine. Even if you didn't want to share the name, that would still be fine by me, just to protect your own identity.
No, that's just the TikTok name, not my real name.
That's fine by me.
I am so happy to be able to join the live because I normally catch it on YouTube. Because normally when it airs, I'm on load shedding this side.
Oh,
So for
okay.
the first time,
You're
I'm
catching
live.
it live here.
Thank you so much.
Ah,
Hey,
look
girl.
at God. Yes, honey. Talk to me.
Lalela. Wena
Mm-hmm.
umncane wena you are young wena. Um, yo, I have been going, ngikoishile sana. So when you
And you
say
are
you
here now.
lost everything, I
Mm.
literally lost everything. Just went out of an 18-year marriage with my clothes only.
Ah, Haibo.
Clothes only.
Mm.
Yes, yes. Siyagoisha sana.
Mm.
But what I learned from the experience, I am much older than you, 45 now.
Okay.
What I learned from the experience is that you need to be at peace yourself. Don't expect anyone to understand where you're coming from. You're
Yeah.
the one who has been exposed to that
Yeah.
particular situation. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are taking yourself out of that, only you understand, dear. No one else will understand. Because
Yeah.
remember, you've been hiding this life that you've been living, you've been acting. So people
Yeah.
are thinking you're living the life.
Yes.
Uyabo? So
Mm.
now if you expect them to have your back to understand, then you will die empty. Whereas you've just made the best decision of your life.
Mm.
Another lesson that I learned is that you have these smallanyana informal corners or committees or ourselves or groups, the support groups, where we share and hey, this is what I'm going through in my house. Hey, this is what has been going through in my marriage. You know what? The day you decide to leave, you think those people will back you. Hey, they will surprise you. They will be all against you.
They turn their backs on you. Hey? I know that for sure.
I mean, they'll be saying the worst things about you, and you are thinking, hi, bo, my situation is better than Percy's situation. How can Percy say that to me about
Mm.
me, whereas we're in the same boat? I actually
Yeah.
escaped. But those people are not giving you the support. Hence, I'm saying you should be convinced yourself
Mm.
that you're doing this for yourself and you are
Yes.
done with that life.
Mm.
Don't expect anybody else to give you a pat in the shoulder because that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Listen, game, my dear. After my matric, I went to tertiary, and then on my way back, I think around Easter, I met this guy who had a friend in the neighborhood, 9 years older than me. It's me thinking, yo, you see, this one is matured, he's done
Mm-hmm.
playing and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And we carried on. And my mom said, nothing unless you get your first qualification. You, I still love my mom for that.
Mm.
And because that's what helped me. That's
Mm.
what gave me power. That's
Yeah.
what gave me my voice. That one first qualification gave me
Mm.
financial freedom.
Mm.
Um, Fast forward, and then after my graduation, Tala got married,
Mm-hmm.
worked. Hey, little did I know that the 18 years I'll be working for someone.
Hypo.
So when you say it's not only physical abuse, financial abuse, my dear, how
Mm.
can you work for 18 years and not have anything after 18 years?
Yo. Sorry, sis.
Where
I
I
think people
was,
here on the comment sections are saying that there's an echo. I don't know, maybe if you have headsets on or something like that.
no, no.
Oh, okay.
Is it still, do they still hear it?
Let's just wait for somebody to respond. Somebody please respond if you're still hearing an echo or it's not there anymore. Okay, they're saying it's better now.
It's better. Okay, now I think the phone was far from me. Okay, I also moved into a new place, so I don't have much furniture. Hence the echo. Maybe
Okay.
that's why, but I'll keep the phone as close as possible to my mouth. So, yes, fast forward, got married, moved in together, bought a house, um, had miscarriages. That was the first red flag. Had the first miscarriage, and there was no one saying sorry or accompanying me. I was all by myself. And all I had was like, I'm an African man. Hmm? Second one, I was all by myself. Got pregnant. I was never accompanied to a sauna, to a scan, to a doctor visit. Mind you, I'm married. I'm a Christian. I'm a leader at church, but I'm all by myself. Oh, as if that was nothing. I would literally come back and show him the saunas, and he will just take them and put them in an album, and that was it. My dear. And me saying, oh, okay, now we're gonna have a child. We need to have a bigger house. Can we have maybe a plan? And the plan was there. It was like, I don't have money to take it to the municipality for some, I don't know whether they say it should pass other tests. And he didn't have the money. I paid for that, and it was approved. And all the savings went away. When I was 7 months pregnant, he bought a car cash with that money. My dear. Fast forward, I renovated when I was on my maternity leave days. I renovated. I had to put in a new geyser, renovate the bathroom because, we didn't have all of that in our old house. It was just a startup house. So I was so angry. I did that. Guess what? I had to buy everything for the child.
This is your
From
child
the
because you've been going to saunas alone and everything alone. So and I was just
guys,
donating a seed.
a sweet somebody who doesn't
I'm saying
shout.
he donated you with a seed. When you wanted a child, like he just gave you a seed. That's why he's not
Hey,
buying
Wena.
anything.
And looking back, I'm saying, but God has been telling me that no. And I kept on praying. No, I kept on praying. Voila, here's your child. Okay. As if that was nothing, I paid for the auntie. I paid for the first crèche, the second preparatory school, the grade R, the primary, high school, all by myself. Yebo, Nana. I bought groceries. I renovated. All I had was I don't have money. Next thing, boom, new car from the box.
Men are not here to suffer in this world. Men are not here to suffer. They are not here for any of this that we are doing. They're just here to live their best lives.
Lalela, all by myself. And each when you are hiding, you want to show we are born, or you are acting.
The body of Christ must see you
Yes,
as perfect, and they must be inspired to get married and also live a scam life.
my dear, it happened. I did that for 18 solid years. The 16 years of it, I've been on antidepressants. 16 solid years.
Wow.
Presence, my dear.
And you guys were
Because
praying
I
together.
felt like, no, luckily he wasn't praying, but he was very quiet, very dignified. Like, that one would never kill even a fly,
Yeah.
not even a fly.
Mara, you are drinking
So,
antidepressants. You were not drinking
when
before you met you.
my dear, the last day I went out of there with only my clothes was the last day I swallowed one. That was the last time. If you know trampoline, I was taking 4 every evening. 4. I'm a living testimony that you can live. As much as you might think that there's no life after this, without this surname, I'm nothing. Let me tell you, there is life. I'm living it. Not that I'm proud of what I did, it's not an ideal thing, but in order for me to live, I had to. And guess what? I'm living.
Mm.
And people were saying, "Oh, you are fresh. Oh, being married is such a beautiful thing. Look at how big you are." No, it was antidepressant side effects. Now that I've lost weight, everyone is thinking, "Oh, shame, poor thing." No, this is my body.
Without
This
taking
is now my body. All what I had
medication.
these years. Because I remember at some point my child was saying, "Mom, you're too big, you're too big." I went to the doctor to say, "But can't I have something else? Because now I'm too big and I don't like how I look." The doctor just told me straight in the face that, "Hey, girl, you decide. You want to be a fat somebody who is sane, whose child can point that this is my mom, or you want to be a slender, nice figured, crazy woman. Will your kids be proud of such a beautiful body, but crazy?" I had to choose and be at peace with the type of a body that I had and
Because
started
you were not willing to let go of
enjoying
the
being
actual
fat.
problems, Sam. The actual problem, you were not willing to let go of it. That one. Ay,
No,
kaloku.
no. I'm telling you, you know the person will squeeze you. And let me tell you, in the past 18 years, never, not even once, have I gone to my parents' house and say, "I'm coming to sleep over. We have a problem there." Never. They
Yeah,
never
you were the
knew.
steering, Anisha. You were the steering. You know how to deal with your own marital problems. I mean, you don't want to be a weak
Not
woman.
once have I called to the
Proverbs
family
31 woman.
meeting. My dear, cooking, cleaning, like I feel I've done it all, yet I have failed. So at times, women, we must just let go and let God. Let go and let God before you die. Because I'm telling you, I've been sick for 15 years. Operations in and out of hospital, things that the doctor couldn't even explain. I've been told I have severe depression, anxiety disorder. My main switch was not switching off. I was just carrying on. I was just living. And I was very happy, my dear. You couldn't see it. I was very happy. It's only the sicknesses that could have told someone that I'm sick. Otherwise, my work up to scratch, my child's uniform, the performance of my kids at school, everything was just perfect. I think I had a routine. I had practiced this so much that it was just a perfect routine.
But it
And
was killing you piece by piece.
yes, I'm one of those women that should I have if I had died there, hey my dear, my funeral service was going to be like, there's a Proverbs 31 woman.
Ah, Jehovah.
You know,
So
one
many
that,
of them have died like that.
yes, like I carried my vow to the last. And whereas, hey, I've been married for 2 years only, guys.
Hi, Bo.
The rest it was just let's go forward, my babes.
The rest you were digging your grave, Kalo. For
My
16 years, you
dear,
were digging a grave.
my dear. You know, when I went to tell my parents about it, they were like, "Hi, can we sit?" I was like, "Anyone who wants to sit can go sit. Me, I'm done. You can go sit just to," because they've never had me complaining.
So they think no, we can solve it. Mus, it's the first problem, then we will solve it.
And by the time I told them, I was just waiting for the final court date.
Hi, Bo.
You see, yo, my dear, we are going.
Hi, Bo.
Siyakowisha. Lalela. We are just going through things. Um, but I'm telling you, the what should have been the worst part was not. The worst part was other women who are in even worse situations
Mm.
talking as if I did the worst thing ever. And I knew their problems. Remember, I was a counselor. I know their problems more than they know them.
Yeah.
And me breaking out was like, if I do it, you can do it too. No, they're not saying that. They're
No,
saying the
you're a bad
worst about
example now.
me.
You need
You know, I'm
deliverance
a
now.
bad example now to the church. Now people will think that a Christian girl does this, behaves like this, but they were never in my house.
Mm.
They were never there when I was left to die. A person wakes up next to you, make their own breakfast. You can't even lift your head up. They eat the whole day. They bath. They go out. They come back. They sleep next to you. Next day again, they carry on and they leave you there without food.
Hypo,
Mm-hmm.
hypo, guys.
And I would be degraded to say, oh yeah, your church members, they like you so much. Oh, I would go to conferences where I would be speaking and come back with the programs, and they will see that I was speaking and doing whatever on the programs, and they would say, oh Shem, they're so proud of you. They come here and pick you up. Do they know that you're such a piece of trash?
Hypo. And the thing is, once you leave for the church, the abuser abuses you more, knowing that you can't say anything because remember, you are this good example, so you can't speak like other people. No crying emojis, guys. I'm gonna mute you for crying emojis because TikTok is gonna think we're doing something dangerous here. Okay, they're gonna block us. No crying emojis. Just show hearts. Yo, hi sis.
So, my dear, this is just a piece of my life from day one. In this past 18 years, we've been buying new cars, but I've never been on a holiday.
Yo. There's a
If my
video that
child
I did
needs
the other day to say the day you die, people are gonna take your money and eat it like that ice cream that I was eating. With your
my
hard
dear
earned money.
to be taken out with that new car to a holiday, to Durban, to do shopping, whatever. If you want to go do shopping, you must pour your own petrol and still feed yourself and everybody else because you initiated, isn't it, that you wanted to go to a mall? So finance your mall trip
Yo.
in such a way that whenever there's a trip around the neighborhood, families, I would pay for my kids to go and enjoy and find life. Because me now, my life is just me going to work, going to church conference, going to work. That was my life. There was no time where you taking your kids as a family go out. And I was like, there's no way my kids are not going to know where Durban is.
Yo.
So
But my
all
love,
the
you know
school
what,
trips
ne?
had to happen.
I feel like because a lot of us we suffered so much, we wanna rectify that through our kids. But I can tell you now that it's not too late for you to live the life that you should have lived a long time ago. You can start now, you know. You actually living this toxic situation that you were in that was gonna eventually kill you was one thing. Now you just have to reward yourself and over again for all the times and all the things that you should have done and you never did. Your kids should be able to get that, but you also deserve that. Yes, you do. You deserve that and so much more. Yes, I was gonna fly you to Paris if I had money.
I am. My child is saying every time when we go out, like, Mommy, you actually enjoying. And I was like, oh, but we don't have chairs. We must buy chairs. Like, Mom, it's fine. We'll sit where we are sitting. It's fine. We're okay. It's
Kids,
fine.
kids,
Go,
yes, the kids,
go.
Sham. Kids are
That
just
even the
kids.
kids can
Kids
see.
just want happiness. That's all they want. They just want happiness.
I'm telling you, my dear. At times we're saying we're doing this for kids, but again, maybe to other women, an eye opener. For me, the eye opener was the guy used to say, "My mom is such a strong woman,"
Way.
and I was like, "But what your dad was doing? There's no way that woman was strong." And now I was thinking, I'm raising a son who will expect the next girl to be strong because I pretended to be strong and died out of being strong. There's no way I'm teaching my child that a woman can persevere.
Yeah.
I'm just living for the sake of my child. Mind you, my child has never seen a fight, has never had a fight,
But you're
but has
trying.
lived in an unloving family.
You, this is
Because if you can ask my child, have you ever seen a fight? He will tell you never. I just saw two people who are quiet.
Aibo.
I just saw people who were speaking when they had to, and that's it.
Aibo.
To a point where my child didn't know how to say good morning, mom, because he was told that don't worry about that one. As long as you greet me, you are fine.
Aibo.
Yeah, boo. Child would wake up, hello, daddy, how are you? Fine. I'm like, and me? Even daddy doesn't greet you, so please.
Aibo.
Mm. If you thought you've had it all, I've seen most.
I know, but anyway, things
So
will correct.
let us not make these things normal. Let us not
Something
make these things
healthy is
normal.
more.
It's not normal because I'm thinking my child is gonna look for a woman who will tolerate this, and he is so not
Yeah.
gonna find her because we are telling girls that do not persevere for nonsense. So she's gonna think, hi, there's no wife anymore. This is what guys are saying now. There are no wives anymore. Women are not willing to tolerate nonsense. Yes, we cannot tolerate nonsense. So I'm shaping my girl, I'm shaping my boy that
Yes.
nonsense is nonsense, tolerate what is normal. As soon as it's beyond that, it's depression. So I left my dear with only my clothes. Do you think
And
after
your
18
kids.
years, I don't have anything? I left everything in such a way that even neighbors didn't notice that I've left. It's only
Because you
the
didn't
two
take
that I
it
went
out.
to and told them that, hey guys, tada. They said, when? I'm like, now. Yes, I'm talking to you now. I'm done. There's no one who saw that I left because I took only my clothes and I left and went somewhere where I didn't even have a bed. I
But your
rented,
kids,
I
you are
slept.
living. You're not taking antidepressants anymore. You are back at your normal shape. Your normal. You are healthy, and that's what we want. We want you to live longer. We don't want you to live a short life and die in this house with everything. We want you to live long.
I am going to live long.
You are gonna live long.
So, what will help you is to understand that those people don't know the Egypt that I'm in. I'm liberating myself. Don't expect them to understand your Egypt. They were never there with you when you were
Yeah.
sitting with Pharaoh. Understand yourself
Mm.
and go to your canon.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
that's it for me.
No, thank you so much, my sister. Thank you so much.
See you
Yo.
at Harte Piers.
Yeah. See you at Heart PS, my sister.
See
See
you
see
at
you
Harte
soon.
Piers, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Good
Okay.
night.
Good night. Yeah, we are still going to talk about Heart PS at the end for those who don't know what's happening at Heart PS. Did I get somebody in? Hello? Anybody home? Did I get a new person in, or is it still the same person?
Yes, it's the same person.
Oh, okay. Let me get you out first and then get a new person in. All right. Phew. Guys, for those who don't know, we are having check out my okay. Actually, before I even spoil the live, now just check out my profile picture. Check out my profile picture with all the details of what's happening at Hartebeers on my birthday weekend. We're having a 3-day camp. It's called Loving Yourself Back to Life, where we'll just be doing life-changing things there and helping each other love ourselves back to life. Where to from here? Hi. Hello. Going once, going twice. My sister. Okay, I'm going to have to let you go because we are on a roll. Call us a tissue paper because we are on a roll. Okay, we're getting somebody else now. Okay, already offline. Let's see if we can get somebody else. Okay. Hi. Hello. Hello, Carla. Okay, we're gonna have to let go again. I think people request and forget that they've requested, ne? And then they be sitting on the live like, hey, and they're not here. Okay, if you would like to share your story, you can definitely request. Hi. Oh, where are requesting? Okay. Okay, my love, I'm gonna have to let go of you because if you're not gonna be able to talk and you are connected, then unfortunately we can't help you there. Right? So when you request to join, you should be able to be in a place where you can talk, because if you are here but you can't talk, then what are we doing? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm good, thank you. You're
Yeah.
speaking to Pat.
Hi, Pat.
Yes, my story is a bit different because
Okay.
my abuse was from my in-laws,
Okay.
not from my partner. I
Yes.
was, this is actually my first time sharing the story
Okay.
after 7 years.
Okay.
So I was happily married. I got married at the age of 23 to a 25-year-old. So my husband was 2 years older than me. And then at the age of 25, when I was 25, my husband got shot and I was heavily pregnant. So now we knew that I was going to go to hospital on a Sunday to actually give birth on Monday. So on Saturday, he came with his friends, I prepared a nice dinner for everyone. And then when the friends were leaving, so he's like, it's fine, guys, I'm going to walk you to get a taxi. So when he was walking them, it was actually, since I was heavily pregnant, I couldn't walk with them. So now he got shot. I had the gunshots because it was behind our house. So now he left his phone at home. No, he had his phone with him. Yes, he had his phone with him. So now, when I had the gunshots, I felt like I was being shot. So now I panicked. I'm like, the gunshot, I had 3 gunshots. I'm like, I'm panicking. My husband is not home. Tried to call him. He was not picking up. And then now I called one of his friends. His friend was not picking up. I called another one. He wasn't picking up as well. So I tried calling. It was very dark, very, very dark. Then I decided to walk to check whether we're getting a taxi.
Yeah.
So I walked there. It was still dark, I was so scared, crying. I don't know why I was crying, but I was crying. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I called his brother. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just panicking now. I had gunshots. Hubby is not home. He said, okay, it's fine. We'll come to you. The brother was staying about 20 minutes away from where we were staying. Then now, when I got there, apparently I was standing next to his body, but I could not see. Yeah. Went back home. And then when I tried to call again, someone picked up. So I'm like, hello. The guy's like, hello, who are you? I'm like, Ish, sorry, please don't drop. I'm looking for my husband. And then he's like, okay, I found the phone next to someone who was lying next to the road. And I'm not sure whether the guy was shot or he was being stabbed, but I saw there was blood next to him. I'm asking him, what was the guy wearing? He's mentioning the clothes that my husband was wearing. I said, okay, I was there, but then I could not see anyone. They said, it's fine. I'm a taxi driver. I'm about to drop people. Give me 5 minutes. I'll call you. I had this thing of saying that, what if this guy is the person that shot my husband, or what if he's lying? But then I said, you know what? God is going to be with me. I couldn't even pray, but I was like, God, I need you to walk with me right now. I walked again to where I was standing. The guy, he came, I think 5 minutes later. When he had his lights on, because it was very dark there, when he had his lights on, I could see my husband lying next to me. So he was like, sis, are you the one who called? I said, yes, I'm the one who called. Okay. Are you the wife? I said, yes. The guy started screaming. He's like, yeah. And you're pregnant. Who are you with? I'm like, I'm here alone. So he's like, I don't know what to do now. I said, I called my my brother-in-law. He said he was on his way. It's like, okay, give me your phone. Let me call him. He called my brother-in-law saying that don't even go to the house, just come straight. He came straight to where we were standing. And then I was like, I need to call other people as well. I need to call my sisters. I need to call my brother as well. And I called my father-in-law, but the older brother of my father-in-law.
Yeah.
So everyone came, and one of the friends that he was accompanying to the taxi came with the police. So he was shot on the leg, and then he said those guys were actually trying to rob them. So they thought that my husband was taking out a gun, but he was actually moving his hand out of his pocket. Okay, to fast forward, while we were busy preparing for the funerals, in my culture, we actually wait for 2 weeks in order for us to bury the person.
Okay.
So while we were busy with funeral preparations, and then the sister-in-law called me. And then she said, we're in 2 different provinces. She said, we're in this province. Remember now, people need to come visit the family. So because of Lendo Yomi Nwako, high codes, you need to give us money. It's like, oh, okay. While I was there, okay, going backwards a bit. Remember, it was my husband passed away on Saturday. I was supposed to go to hospital on Sunday to give birth on Monday morning.
Yeah.
I still went to hospital. When I was still in hospital, gave birth, I had to be there for 3 days, and then I was gonna be discharged on the 4th day. While I was there, one of my brother-in-laws called me. He said, I'm telling you this in secret. The father-in-law is sending us to go to your husband's workplace to actually go claim his monies.
Hey, Bo.
I said, oh, okay. All right. Okay, so how are you going to do it? And unfortunately, my husband was, I think, the second person to change their surname. So they thought that he was still using the old surname. So when they got to his workplace, they find out that he changed his surname. So they need to bring someone with the same surname. Now they looked for the first guy who changed the surname. When he got there, they were like, okay, produce the death certificate. Fortunately for me and unfortunate for them was that we were married already. We got married way before the lobola things, and then while we were still, young, enjoying life, and then we were like, let's just go get married.
You eloped.
So now, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's like telling me all of that is happening, that now we can't because of you are legally married to the guy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Now I had as I don't know what was going through my mind. I was actually feeling for the in-laws more than I felt for myself. I was like, I wish they could understand that I'm okay, I think I wanted to be strong for myself, for my family, and for my unborn child, So I was there trying to be strong, getting calls, and they're like, you need to send money, dude. And
When
bear
we're at
in
the
mind that,
hospital.
sorry, while I was at
When
the
you were at the
hospital,
hospital.
yes. And my father-in-law, we don't want to lie, he loved that guy. I thought he loved me. He would call me almost every day to say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you preparing food for the guy? He's supposed to be the one that's preparing food for them. For you, I mean. Oh, okay. So I was so shocked when I called him, he's not picking up. I thought maybe, if he speaks to me, he's maybe gonna break down, thinking maybe I'm crying myself, out, and so I was like calling them. I'm like, guys, I'm okay. All I want is, I just want to be out of the hospital, come and be with you guys. So now when I came back from hospital, I was told that there's gonna be a family meeting. Now, when there's gonna be a family meeting, family calls me, the in-laws, they call me, they say, we're gonna have a family meeting. You need to buy food for the meeting. Said, oh, okay.
Is
It's
this
fine. I'm not gonna buy
before the
food.
funeral or after?
It's before the funeral. Before the funeral. Remember, I said, in my culture, we wait for 2 weeks before the funeral. So they said the week before the funeral, they said, we're gonna have a family meeting, so you need to give us money to buy food. I said, okay, I don't have money to buy food, but I have a lot of food at home because it was just after month end. So just come, get the food, get everything. They took everything that was in the cupboards, from tea to salt to rice to meat.
Wow.
Bear in mind, I have a child. I just came back from hospital. I've got an operation. I've got my sisters there. I need to make sure that they eat as well. But they didn't even care about that. And then now, okay, they said I was going to be part of the meeting. They're going to send one of the brother-in-laws to come pick me up because the meeting was at the other father-in-law's house. While I was there, meeting was supposed to start at 10, 10, Washaya, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm calling like crazy. I'm like, what's going on? No one is picking up my calls. The same brother-in-law that told me something in secret, he said to me, we are told not to speak to you. I said, oh, okay. Why? He said, I don't know. I would love to come fetch you, but I don't want them to know that I'm the one who's giving you all this information, but that's what we are told. I said, no, it's fine. I called again. I called the father-in-law. I said to him when he picked up, I said, and I was thinking, I cried and I couldn't cry anymore. I said, in order for me to get their attention, I need to swear at him because he's the older one. I know once I swear at him, because I know the kind of a person he is, he's going to come back to me. He's going to come try to fight me. When he picked up, I said, Wena, the meeting in Ishelele, it's nonsense. And you're not going to get the body. And apparently the meeting was about that they must go bury my husband and they don't have to tell me anything. I said, okay, bear in mind we're coming from the village, from the same village back home. Okay, and then after we had that, I swear that the father-in-law, they all came, all the in-laws now, they came, they're like, yeah, you're so rude, you even killed him.
I was
So that's why
expecting
you're
that.
so rude.
I was waiting for you to say that one.
Yeah, no, they said, yeah, because you killed him, that's why you're so rude. I said, you know what, because of the family I'm coming from, I'm not going to fight with you guys. If you can't grieve for your son, unfortunately, I can't help you. I can't tell you how to grieve. I'm also grieving as well. But then I think what we all need to do is to respect him and celebrate his life. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to be sitting here crying all the time and giving you guys money. No, I won't. Okay, fast forward. We went to the province where we were going to bury the husband. We're coming from the same village, so my mom was already there. When we got there, we had funeral policies that were there, those ones from the community. The father-in-law collected the money. He said, I'm not going to get a cent. I said, okay. I had written my own obituary so that it can be read there. The day before the funeral, the sister-in-law told me that I need to buy broom, mop, everything, because now there'll be a lot of people that are coming for me and to me and because of me.
Okay.
So now I need to buy all of, because they need to sweep and actually mop the floor. So they can't use their own things. Yep. I said, oh, okay. I don't have a problem. I'll buy. They said, give us the money and the card. I said, unfortunately, I will not do that. Since I am the one who needs to buy those things, I need to go to town. And I got so much power because now my parents were there.
Yeah, now you have backup now.
Went to town. Yeah, I have backup now. Went to town, we bought those things, we came back. And then the day of the funeral, they never even mentioned me on the obituary when they were reading it. I was seated there in Matrasini with the kids. Yeah, so one of the brother-in-laws went there and he was like, but why don't you mention Umakoti? And I quote, the MC was like, oh, okay, sorry guys, sikhohliwe ushiye naye nomakoti.
Wow. Ngathi
And
bakhohlikaphi.
yazi
He
yini,
forgot he left a cat.
hawu.
But
And
then my
I was the
sister,
one.
yes, you can continue.
Oh, okay. I was the one who bought the casket. I was the one who paid for everything that was going on there. But they forgot to mention me.
Wow. Okay, I wanted to ask Ori, how are you now? Fast forward to now, like currently, how are you and how is everything?
Now I'm still healing, I must say, and I still believe in love a lot. I'm in a relationship now. I'm happy. I still wish to get married. Yeah, I still wish to get married. And yeah, I have no relationship with the in-laws at all. I see them every time I go home.
Yeah.
And they've denied the kids. So they've said that the kids are not theirs and they don't want anything to do with them. And I'm okay. I forgave myself for loving them. I forgave myself for not forgiving them. And yeah, life is. I even changed the province because I had to. I think part of my healing was changing the province. And yeah, I'm good now. I'm okay. I no longer cry when I tell the story.
You know what, my love name? I think from what I would like to be a take home for me, my own scuffed from the story which you are telling, which I can relate so much because, okay, I can't really say my ex-in-laws hate me. They don't hate me, but they showed me some colors during the divorce, of which it's understandable because everybody had to side with their own child, right?